Hello and welcome to the Extreme Z Podcast, the only Dokkan podcast making your favorite talk show format relevant again. I'm your host, Epic Mewtwo.
And I'm your co-host, Kayvon.
And today we are back with episode 4 of our favorite podcast here. We're going to be talking about why is every new Gogeta card so diddly darn busted?
And why every Gogeta card will probably still be busted going forward.
Exactly, because Gogeta's the GOAT. That's right. No, that's not the only reason. Gogeta, exactly, yes. But before we get into today's
news time.
Yes, news time, of course. We have quite a bit of JP news to go through. JP was popping these last 2 weeks.
Global is a little it's downtime. Save your stones. Don't sell.
Yeah,
bad.
It's a little. We chillin', man. Yeah. We chillin'. But
let's start off with the original OG JP.
Yes. So JP got its new winter celebration, which is pretty cool. Lots of stuff came with this. Of course, your standard login bonus and brand new
standard
missions.
login missions. Yeah.
Yes, of course. With it came the brand new Int Goku Black, and of course his Dokkan Fest, the banner, and of course his event, which by the way was pretty easy, and his banner
his category.
his category, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
His banner though was very good. Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku, STR Rose, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, Int Trunks, Int Blue Vegeta. Very good banner. Yes, Tech Perfect Cell as well. Very solid banner, very solid banner. Like Havon mentioned, he did bring with him a new category, the Beyond, or well, what do they call it? The Travelers of Time and Space category? Yes.
Which is Future 2.0.
Yes, it's a very interesting category. It has obviously every unit on it who has ever traveled through time and space, and this doesn't just include like dimensional space, like if they traveled through space like in a ship, like Bojack is a space pirate, he technically counts,
also,
right?
technically traveling through time if you're like sealed away counts, apparently.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, but a little bit.
Because that's like how Fat Boo's on the category.
But if they traveled through space, doesn't that mean Scouter Vegeta should be here? Because he flew through space in a space pod?
No.
It's a little bit weird, but it kind of makes sense.
Category for some of the Heroes units, which is cool.
Yes, which is very cool. All the brand new Heroes units are actually on it, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
cool.
All the brand new ones at least. But very cool nonetheless. There is a very interesting mix of units here. There's definitely some very cool stuff to be had. Goku Black himself was not like super exciting of a unit.
He's a mixed bag.
Yes, he was definitely kind of he was a little bit underwhelming, I will say. He was 150 up to that category, by the way. He was just kind of there. I guess.
Yeah. If you summon for him, you summon for what's on the banner, not him specifically.
Right, unless you're me. But yeah, no, he builds up a little bit over time, and he grows a probability to crit, but once he transforms, he is fantastic.
Yeah, when he transforms, if you can get it off, which isn't too hard, all things considered.
Yes, he transforms into Rose, and that is when he has a 50-50 chance.
That boy good.
Yes, so he is very good. As well, of course, with that new category, the banner for the category came out, you know, the 330 multis and then so on and so forth. As per usual, Super Dragonstone still happened, so yay. It wasn't as like super as, you know, some of the other Super Dragonstone sales, but that's okay. Then, of course, a lot of the future space-esque related events to go along with the category came back. The revamped Bardock event, the Dragon Ball Super Trunks My Rose Zamasu event, the Hope Returns event with future Gohan slapped on the front of that boy, and Bulma's Genius Battle Prep came back as well to relate to a world tournament that we're going to talk about in a little bit, which is actually going on right now at the time of recording this anyway. By the time it goes out, it'll be over. But regardless, though, the Dragon Ball Fusions banner came back as well a little bit after that, which was really cool.
And now the units are general SSRs.
Yes, which is absolutely fantastic. The units are now joining the general SSR pool, which is great.
So when this comes to global, expect that to happen too.
Yes.
Oh, when it comes back to global, rather.
I wish that they would have added some new units, though. Like, I know a lot of people are hoping for...
I feel like, if anything, now, like, since it's a more general thing, pun intended. They could have like another random like Fusions collab part 2 or something.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, granted though, the
Especially
game.
if anything, like if a new Fusions game.
Right, I hope that
something.
they come out with a Fusions game for the Switch or something, because then they'd be able to do it in
I
Dokkan
can see
too.
it. I can see it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But a lot of people were hoping that they would do Broly Black, or whatever the fusion is there, for the new Dokkan card, because he was like a very big staple in that game. So these cards, though, like Kayvon said, are getting added to the general SSR pool, which is cool, of course. And their event came back as well to awaken them, and you can get some medals for some other events too, which is pretty cool. As well, the Int Janemba EZA came, bringing back Fizz Tanks on the banner, which is pretty cool. And the Int Janemba EZA is absolutely fantastic. His EZA...
Can we get an F for STR, please?
...makes him outclass STR Janemba in every way.
100-fold.
Yes. Which is absolutely crazy for a unit as old as Janemba. Or this particular Janemba, I guess I should say. Very cool, though. You can definitely, I will say, you can definitely kind of tell that they're pushing this out a little bit, you know, to kind of get hyped for Gogeta in the new Broly movie. Which, you know, of course, definitely not mad about. But, nonetheless, Ultimate Gohan's EZA came back as well, and with it, the Dokkan Awakening, the EZA of AGL Ultimate Gohan, and the, what was the other type? It's slipping my mind right now. Fizz, thank you. I wanted to say yellow. I don't know why. The Fizz Ultimate Gohan, yes.
Yep.
Those guys are pretty solid as well. They both are pretty much the same thing. Int Ultimate Gohan's still better.
Yeah, they were the same thing before.
Right, and they're the same thing now.
So now they're the same thing.
Nonetheless, though, still pretty good units.
Yeah, definitely.
Events that came back was actually a couple. We had the Bio Broly, yay. The Black Star Dragon Ball Saga, and then of course the Goku and Mob Rabbit event came back. But then we got this announcement: the 27th World Tournament was going to be coming, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get to that, we wanted to kind of note something here. Keep in mind that the Broly movie release date is the 14th, and Goku Black's banner is here till the 18th. So, I'm kind of thinking that they, you know, will maybe drop it the night that it happens. I don't know, but
well, if they do, that means it can't. Considering what Global has in store, it can't happen at the same time. So that's the thing to keep in mind.
Right. But either way, though, we don't know. You know, obviously, we don't know when the movie is the movie banner is going to drop exactly. But you know, we do know the movie comes out the 14th in Japan, and the Goku Black banner ends the 18th. So that is just something to keep in mind. A little bit of food for thought for you. Beyond that, though, let's see, what do we got? The Dragon Ball Super Broly, like, little teaser, I guess you would call it, in Dokkan was thrown in there. Nothing like a celebration or anything like that, but there was just a little bit of a, hey, Broly movie's coming, and there's going to be a campaign in Dokkan to celebrate it.
Oh boy.
So that was literally it. You know, it was just an image with the title of the movie on it. So nothing too exciting there. You know, we kind of obviously knew that was coming, but still cool nonetheless that Dokkan is acknowledging it. JP and Global did actually hit first place. I'll let Kayvon talk about the global side of things. But
I got you.
Thanks, B. But JP did hit first place on the App Store. Funny enough, for the little art, they just used the old Vegito Blue one. But we did get 30 stones and a ton of int orbs, which is awesome. So always looking for some free stones. That's cool. Dokkan Battlefield got refreshed, and with it came the addition of the Dokkan Awakenings for the free-to-play Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku and the Physical Majin Vegeta. Both of those you could obtain with the Battlefield Crystals.
They are pretty busted.
Yes, they're really good. You awaken them with Battlefield medals now.
Apparently it's 35 of them, though?
Yikes. That's a lot.
Which is a definite yikes.
Yeah.
Granted, for how good they are, it's kind of fair.
Yeah, definitely.
We're talking like Dokkan Fest levels of good here.
Yes, they are very good. They're very good.
Especially Goku.
Yeah, oh yeah. But very cool though that they got Dokkan Awakenings. They didn't even really need it. To be honest, like they were pretty all right
Yeah,
with
now
how they
now they're
were.
now they have better layer skills than the LR like Vegeta Blue and LR Medical.
Yes, which is absolutely
Is
crazy.
dumb.
But nonetheless, though, we are, by the way, keep in mind on the, I guess you would call it the second round of Battlefield 2.0, or the second set of bosses at least. Right.
The second
Anyhow,
round of the second set.
right, second set, sure, you can call it that. Besides all of that, though, in terms of, we're getting a little bit more technical here. A brand new version update is on the way. It is not dropped yet. Version, well, yeah, 4.1.0. This update is going to bring us a plenty of things, and some very cool things nonetheless. So we're going to go over them all real quick. We can now collect all of the we can now collect all the missions at once. There's a button where you can just collect all your mission rewards at once.
Very needed.
Yes, very needed. A lot of gacha games have it. Glad Dokkan is finally getting it. There's going to be a little bit of event selection improvement, which is pretty cool. As well, you can now select multiple categories when you are going through your units and kind of sorting them out.
Yeah. Which has some pretty interesting implications of what stuff in the future could have.
Right. We are kind of thinking that they're maybe hinting at dual category leads, because that kind of does seem like the only place that the current meta can go from here. So we'll have to see. But very cool, though. Good stuff. Like, it shows how many stages you still have to complete on the outside of the particular event, which I think is super cool. And then, yeah, and then you can also go to the specific event that you need to do to complete the mission from the mission screen, which is awesome. Like, you can click on it and then it'll take you right to the mission and tell you where you need to do everything. And that is super awesome. Obviously, then you can go and collect it. And then there's also a little bit of a screen of the missions that you still have left on the event, which is awesome. As well, we were all in a hullabaloo about the keys this past week. Everybody was losing their mind over these stupid keys, and it turned out that they actually did have a pretty cool use. It turned out that these keys allow you to go back, well, not go back, but allow you to play Dokkan events that are not currently live in the game, which is awesome. All different kinds of events.
That also includes story events and growth events.
Right, which is awesome. The growth events, we're kind of thinking because
they gotta balance that out.
Right.
That stuff out.
We don't know exactly how we're gonna be able to obtain the keys. That is unknown right now. We do know though that they are a pretty common item because from data mining they are in the same like category as like the Capsule Corp what are they called? Energy drinks.
And we all have 99 of them.
Right, exactly. So nonetheless, though, very cool stuff. So you can go ahead and play a Dokkan event if you need to play it. It does cost keys per play, so just keep that in mind. But again, since it seems like it's going to be able to be pretty easy to get them.
Well, then again, or it could cost 2 keys to unlock it for a certain amount of time. We don't know yet because I haven't actually done it on a video yet.
Exactly. They showed us like just the screen, right? Like with the keys. But that is pretty much it for that update. As well too, with that key thing, it's gonna update the screen on when you click like the button, to go to events or story. It opens up a new menu for that, so that's gonna be kind of interesting.
Honestly, I feel like it's a lot more neat
than it's a little bit more neat, but I do like the simplicity of the other menu. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Either way, though, that is going to be coming, so that's cool. We don't know exactly when yet, but hopefully pretty soon. And then, with that, World Tournament has come and went by the time that this is being uploaded. The 27th World Tournament introduced a slew of new units, a brand new LR Yamcha, which nobody saw coming. He is the brand new local reward.
Yamcha and Puar, get it right.
Oh, gosh. He is the brand new local reward replacing Tien. And Tien as well, by the way, has been moved to the World Tournament prize banner. So that's cool. But yeah, so this brand new Yamcha Ampuar, which is pretty cool. He is the new local reward. The brand new reward for this tournament was an 18. She's kind of all right. She can dodge, but she needs to get hit as well, so she's kind of a little bit counterintuitive, but okay.
Yeah, definitely.
As well, the unit that we've kind of had this as a little bit of a trend the past couple World Tournaments, a unit Dokkan Awakening from some old World Tournament prizes, and this time around it was the Int buff Trunks. He's now Dokkan Awakened, and he's pretty solid. He's pretty solid. Very cool art as well on that one. I'm a big fan of that, actually. So very cool there, though. Something interesting to note as well is that on the, because obviously, you know, now we have the two banners where one of them is World Tournament prizes cards, and then the other one is, you know, general SSR pool for your guaranteed SSR tickets that you use for, you know, that you get as a reward from the World Tournament. What's interesting is that AGL Ultimate Gohan is featured on the SSR banner for the general pool. And
yeah, the fifth one is on the EZA one, right?
Right, which is, I think it's just interesting that they had them kind of both featured in a weird way, because obviously they both just got those EZAs.
Yeah.
Cool, though. Like, cool but odd. I don't know. Either way, though. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Bandai think they slick. Cool, though, nonetheless. And then as well, too, with Yamcha coming, he is the leader for the brand new combination category. I guess you could call it duos, but some of the cards have more than two people on them. This category is basically...
essentially LR the category.
Yeah, right. Basically, any category that has more... or any category. Any card that has more than one character in the card, right? So, i.e. LR androids.
If they're included in the name.
Right, exactly. LR androids...
Hercule does not count.
Right,
it's only Hercule.
Right, because he's in the name, but Boo is in the card art.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate. That newer Gohan and Videl, the Gohan and Ghost, which is a little bit of a stretch. LR Gohan, LR Goku and Frieza, LR Cell and the Cell Juniors, the Meta Cooler Core, which is also a little bit of a weird one, because it's still just him, but a bunch of him. So all of those kind of cards. LR Bojack is on there, which I think is kind of interesting, because it's this whole squad. Rip Goku, by the way. Bulma and Vegeta finally has a category, so that's cool. They're on this category.
Except it's worse than Super SDR.
But yes, for this category, since this is a free LR, Yamcha's only given 100% boost to it, so there's not like a true leader for this yet. I mean, like, obviously, yes, Yamcha is it, but
this is one of the categories I can expect like a summonable leader to come eventually.
Right, exactly. There's probably going to be a Dokkan Fest version of a leader for this category at some point. Though it is kind of limited at this point, just because obviously we don't have too many cards in the game.
There are a lot of free-to-play options, good thing.
Yes, there are, like, over half of this category is free-to-play, which is great. And that is going to do it for JP News. We had quite a bit this week.
And now, global time.
Yeah.
And there's not much, but I'll do my best here. So first up, rank up missions were officially added into the game. You knew about this for a while, and essentially what happened was they revamped the rank 5 to 200 ones to give additional rewards along with the stones, and then from rank 200 to 400 get more, and this upcoming 20th, we're going to get another rank 400 to 500 to get 50 more stones, or 40. One of the two.
Whack.
And then we got hit with that server maintenance to bring on the Thank You Dokkan Festival. Woo. Which actually got changed on global. Funny enough,
the banner got changed.
Yeah, the banner. They added 8 more units, I believe, but bumped it up to back up to 5% rates.
Absolutely insane. So just to know, if you weren't aware, on the JP banner it was 3% rates, and it was not the regular 5. But it didn't have 8 more units on it, which was absolutely crazy. Me and Kayvon actually did make a video on that. But
if you want more information, you can go find that video.
Yeah, we'll leave it at the end of this video or something like that, or in the description.
It did technically get changed, but not really. The units didn't change. Only more units got added.
Right, exactly.
Old Super Saiyan 4 Goku, AGL Rose, Fizz VB, AGL Super Vegito, Fizz Sin Shenron. I don't know why him, but Tech Murtsumasu. So good units, but not like top tier meta units, basically.
Right. So all the old units are still on the banner, but obviously those guys got added. Do not summon, by the way. Just kind of an FYI.
Especially if you want to try and get the Dokkan Thank You pack. Don't do that either.
Yeah, don't.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
And so the baby events came back. So that's cool. Farm up your Nurse Chi-Chi's, your Hercule badges for those two guys. Definitely good. Global got first place in the App Store along with JP and got 30 stones and 3,000 deck orbs. Woo.
Good stuff.
And then the Easy A for Int Ultimate Gohan. Funny enough, it's both on Global and JP right now.
Oh yeah, that's kind of funny.
Finally came to Global, giving him his well-deserved Easy A, making him a lot more viable on stuff like Majin Buu Saga. Rip Hybrid Saiyans because of STR Ultimate Gohan though. The Majin Buu Saga category banner came out along with the Easy A challenge pack. Woo.
I feel like they just like slap a
Yeah.
peel off trove pack on everything they can these days.
But hey, Kai banner happened.
Yay.
Woo. 25 for 5 Kais. You probably don't need Kai Kais probably don't need Kais right now, but oh well.
You will for
Yes, sir.
Gogeta.
Unless you have 67 of them.
Like you, yeah.
Go Forth Hero of Justice event returns, along with the Spread the Love Magical Girl Fighters. Sadly, not bringing the TURs for the Peppy Gals units, as we'll call them. But that'll probably come back eventually next time on Global and bring the Awakenings. And one of the biggest things happening on Global right now is the category Battle Roads and the Int LR Goku.
Yes, the category Shiro Battle Roads was a big thing that came.
Yeah, definitely. So that is the main stuff that's in the game right now. But in the upcoming days, we will be getting the Future Gohan Dokkan Festival with the Winter Celebration, the Dokkan Winter Celebration for Global this time. It'll bring Fizz Future Gohan, the AGL Future, Super Saiyan Trunks Future, the LR one, and the Awakenings for the Future Androids. And
oh right, the old Fizz almost said 21, 17 and AGL 18.
Yeah, the Fizz and those two. So that's it for Global news.
Crazy. Yeah, so this it was kind of a slow news week for Global. They're on a little bit of a
Global's heckin' game ended.
Yes, heckin' game ended indeed. So we'll have to see what comes of Global in terms of what they got upcoming, because it's definitely kind of pointing
it's
to
conflicting right now.
Right, because we were under the impression, the whole community, from like things that were data mined, that Gogeta was going to be dropping at the same time on Blue
Which
Gogeta.
There's still a chance. There's still a chance because there's no confirmation that just because Black Spider ends the 18th, that there right after is going to be Broly and Gogeta do a Dokkan Fest or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a sort of filler thing. Who knows?
Right. We have no idea.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that pans out, but no pun intended, by the way, either. But we'll have to see, because it is definitely like highly implied right now in Global that Future Gohan is the next Dokkan Fest. Of course, when we get
it's already determined.
Right, exactly. So I'm sure too, when we get the little notice like, hey, he's coming, is when we're all gonna be like, well, rip. So we'll have to see what becomes of that. When exactly Gogeta will be arriving in the game, because obviously everybody's super excited for that. I am as well. I'm very excited for Blue Gogeta to come to Dokkan. I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, you and me both.
Oh yeah. But anyhow, though, that is it for the news segment of the podcast today. By the way, for when Blue Gogeta and Broly drop in the game, make sure you keep it here at the Extreme Z podcast for that little summary of what we got going on with that. But speaking of Gogeta, today's episode is going to be all about the man himself, and we're going to be talking about why is every new Gogeta card so busted. We're going to be talking about the STR boy, the OG, I almost said the Fizz one, thinking of Super Vegeta, I don't know why, the Int 120 Gogeta, and of course LR Gogeta himself. We're going to be talking about... Nah, none of that GT stuff. Get that trash out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But we are going to be actually talking about him a little bit, but not his card necessarily. But after the commercial break, we are going to be taking a look at our favorite fusion here.
And remember, watch the commercial.
Yeah,
support the boy.
Of course. Support the boys. Yes.
Yeah, true.
But anyhow, we'll be right back after this commercial break. And welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that ad.
Did you watch that ad? You better watch that ad.
Every time, my boy.
I have to.
Of course,
it's the podcast meme.
I love it. 10 out of 10. Speaking of the podcast, though, today, our topic of discussion with me and our boy here. No guest today, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, just us. That's all you need.
That's all you need, baby. Today, we're going to be talking about why every new Gogeta card in Dokkan is so busted. So we're going to be kind of going a little bit more analytically on this instead of just being like, he's popular and he sells well. Wow, yeah. I can't believe it. No, you know, we're going to talk about like logistically.
Get into depth of this, like why is he such a popular character to begin with, for
right.
one.
So we're
with
specifically
his 5 seconds of screen time.
Yes, exactly. With his 5 seconds of screen time in Fusion Reborn, with Broly, he will get more, thankfully. But regardless, though, we are referring to, by the way, STR Gogeta, Int Gogeta, and LR Gogeta, not Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Just so we're clear on that, because they're all kind of very similar, right? They're like an upgraded version of each other, right? You know, you could consider Fizz Super Vegito the upgraded version of AGL and the Int one, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So let's get talking about this here. So for our first kind of like point of discussion here, is kind of related to the anime, but more so related to the fan base, is just, and this is sort of generic what we were talking about in the beginning, funny enough, we were just memeing a second ago, but his popularity and impact on the fan base is definitely nothing to scoff at in terms of when, and by the way, just so we can make this clear, this episode is probably going to be a little bit more focused around Atsuki. I'm saying that right, correct?
Oh, what?
The company that actually like makes Akatsuki. Why did I say Atsuki? I'm thinking of a different name company. I have the Game Awards on the mind. That just happened the other night this podcast was filmed. But anyhow, they're the ones who actually do the card information and what they do and stuff like that. So when you say it one more time just so I can get it right.
Akatsuki. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Why did I say Atsuki?
If I'm wrong, roast me in the comments. Go ahead.
Go for it. Anyway, when Akatsuki goes ahead and makes these cards, right, this is definitely something that they consider, the popularity and the impact, right, of a character. So, when they see a character, come out like, or when they see a character like Super 17, they're like, yeah, this character isn't going to sell well, so we should definitely stick this guy, not necessarily when some of our big time cards would come out. But then we have a card like Gogeta, and they're like, oh yes, we should put that at the peak of when we can possibly get the most sales, because obviously he's super popular. Even if, you like Vegito better, everybody likes Gogeta.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person who's like, I don't like Gogeta. And if you're out there,
unless you're Lord Kura, sorry, man.
Oof.
The shaft lives on.
Big oof. But yes, or Toy.
Oh yeah, Rip Toy too.
But yeah, so obviously his impact.
Still never pulled in Gogeta.
Yes, he cheated to get it. But his popularity and impact on the fan base is definitely nothing to scoff at and nothing to overlook.
For how little screen time he had.
Right, exactly. And that's something we should talk about.
Anything GT kind of like helped me. I don't know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but GT probably helped Gogeta's popularity a little bit too.
That's true.
Because it also technically expanded on the personality of Gogeta, which it seems like they're taking a bit of that like Gogeta likeness and putting him into the new Super movie too.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, and I didn't really think of that actually, that GT definitely helped popularize and sort of define Gogeta as a character, which is...
Yeah, because like what I see now is like Vegito is like the more Vegeta dominant fusionist too, because like he's cocky, obviously. And especially in GT, Gogeta is more of the like memeing around type of guy, like how Goku is, like just like carefree when he's fighting, but then when he actually fights, oh my emotion there.
Exactly.
Happens to Janemba and Omega.
Exactly.
Bye-bye. But yeah, so I think that's probably why, like, that also probably is why people, some people tend to like Gogeta, like, because he's like a contrast of like the normal fusion, which is Vegito, like that's the go-to. So I think having like such a strict contrast is like what makes people like say like, oh hey, this guy's cool, I like him.
Right, exactly. And obviously too, like, this is kind of an obvious thing, but Goku and Vegeta being obviously some of the most popular characters in the franchise, seeing two of those most popular characters combine into one being is obviously something that's like extremely cool, you know, in any series, right? Fusion in like anything.
Be it Gogeta awesome. Or Vegeta.
Right, exactly. So that is definitely something that I think is definitely taken into consideration when making him, and why he's so busted, because, you know, people are like, oh, Gogeta's super powerful, and it kind of makes sense if he's busted in the game because he's that powerful in, you know, his representation in the anime. And two, since he is such a popular character, it makes sense to make him one of the more powerful cards, because obviously then that way people are going to want to summon for him. And I guess we should note there too that because of you know, that fact, he sells well not only because he is Gogeta, right? But he sells well because he is so busted. People obviously want to summon more for a more powerful card than a less powerful card. For example, you know, I'm sure I would more rather summon for a brand new Gogeta than Int Goku Black, you know, not being as powerful of a unit. So making a card a little bit busted definitely helps Bandai's pockets a little bit in making that mun for summons and whatnot. So that's definitely something to note as well. You do have to remember these are a little bit of a business. Or not a little bit of a business. They are a business, yeah. But you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Anyhow, though, would you like to talk about our next kind of idea or point or whatever you may call it?
So, another reason why I personally think people like Janemba so much, and it could also affect how he is in Dokkan.
You mean Gogeta?
That, like, did I say Gogeta?
You said Janemba.
Oh, well, whoops. Well, that should be enough to get into the next topic. So, Gogeta ruffle stomped Janemba.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
While Super Saiyan 3 Goku struggled.
You mean
heavily.
the child?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Beat the child. I mean, what? But yeah, so basically, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like, if you haven't seen Fusion Reborn, I guess spoilers, but like, Super Saiyan 3
it's
Goku.
old by now. You
either way. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku just took like Fat Janemba to town.
Right.
And then when Super Janemba happened, he just kind of bite the dust. He
got
had no chance.
into oblivion, yes.
Yeah, and then when they actually get the fusion off, Janemba has dealt it with in like 4 hits.
Yeah, super quickly. And that is something that's quite...
That is while he is in regular Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he's in just normal Super Saiyan. And that is something that's definitely quite remarkable about Gogeta and just his popularity in this like community in general, is the fact that he's only been, also, if you heard that burp, excuse me, I just drank water while Kevon was talking, but
good job.
The fact that Gogeta's so popular and so well known and so well renowned in this community, despite literally being on screen for 5 minutes, and not to mention how much money Gogeta makes, you know, Dragon Ball properties between, you know, gacha games and figures and, you know, every other thing under the sun in terms of merch. That is definitely something to, you know, like, what do you say, like, you know, is reputable about Gogeta, I suppose. But yes. He defeated Janemba like so quickly, while Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you know, struggled and
couldn't even touch him practically.
And that whole like fight with Goku and Thick Janemba was so good. Like, it was a great fight. And then you have Super Janemba
got a super attack too.
Yeah, right. And Super Janemba comes along and it's just like so. You know, that definitely contributes to why
he had to do it to him.
Exactly. So that definitely contributes to why he's so busted. Just this overwhelming powerhouse, frankly, that is able to dispatch of such a powerful enemy so quickly.
Now, there's an argument to say, like, because the only other thing we've seen Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight at that point was Majin Buu. So it's like, there's kind of is like a little debate of like who technically would be stronger. Something like.
Well, actually, I can put that to rest, because technically, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, in that movie is much stronger than his anime counterpart. I forget where that's stated, but that is like a thing, because he's because when he's screaming and transforming, he's shaking like all of Otherworld, right?
Mm.
And so at that point, that's a what do they call that in the power scaling community? A feat or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
So that makes it even more, so if that's the case, and that would make it so like, and Goku was pretty much like he was at odds with regular Majin Buu. I would
oh, I
say
thought you said
like
Goku. I was like, nah,
Goku.
that boy, that boy gone.
Yeah, but Goku was at like equal feats with Fat Buu. I
Hmm.
would say like I haven't actually watched Z, sue me, but like I would say like they were equal, and what how essentially like if Super Saiyan 3 Goku was much stronger than he was in Z and still could not touch Super Janemba, that shows how strong Janemba actually is, like
Hmm.
compared to like the big bad of Z, like the biggest
Hmm.
bad rather, because
Right.
like Boo was the peak of that series.
Right.
And then Gogeta comes along and says no, and then he's disintegrated, gone with the wind. He don't feel so good.
Toriyama, I don't feel so good.
Yep.
Beautiful. So yes, that is definitely another reason why. Because when I feel too that, and maybe this is me overthinking it, but I would like to give Akatsuki this sort of credit, is that when they look at a card, or at least nowadays, I feel like they do this. Maybe not back in the day when they were originally making cards, but I feel like with the character's ability specifically, obviously like their art and their sprite and their super attack is one thing, but that's all visual, right? With the character's actual stats and passive and super attack like ability, not the animation,
Yeah.
they definitely have been trying their best to, I feel, represent the character through that. There's different
Yeah.
quirks that appear in, passives and super attack abilities that characters have
Like
in
with
the anime.
specifically like every Super Saiyan Gogeta, not including Super Saiyan 4 because he's a different beast entirely,
Hmm.
all have the whole like like attacks effective against all types of thing with their
Hmm.
attacks.
Hmm.
Like it's become it was a staple ever since SDR Gogeta,
Right. Or,
all the way
just
to LR.
right. Or just for another example, we have the Goku Black units who take hits and get stronger, right?
And and like it's Gogeta like that, and that little mechanic is pretty much like exclusive to Gogeta.
Right, the all types thing.
It's
Yeah.
all effective against all types. I'm pretty sure no other unit has that exact like passive.
Right. And if they do, it's not a theme as it is with
Yeah,
Gogeta, right? So
exactly.
they definitely take into consideration how the character was portrayed in the anime and try and, portray them that way in the games as best as they can. And I feel like they definitely do a good job of that, specifically with movie Gogeta, because they're kind of showing how powerful he is, how quickly he took out Janemba, and that like he's almost able to defeat any enemy with, how powerful he is. And, that is definitely reflected in his card.
Yeah.
I feel like anyway. And then we also have the other sort of like example, I guess we have of this, or like kind of like reasoning why Gogeta is so busted, um, is because the other examples of Metamorph fusion that we've seen in the series, i.e. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, kinda, and I guess you could technically say the same for Vegito, unfortunately, but
Mm.
all the other instances that we've seen, at least in the canon, and I mean, like, that's already a shaky ground in terms of a
Yeah.
word at this point.
The main series, at least, like from like because essentially the only fusions that were in Z is what we're referring to.
Right.
But we're not talking about Dragon Ball fusions or anything. That's
Right.
a whole other
That's
kind of baloney.
that's a whole other realm. We can make a whole episode about that actually.
Oh boy.
But maybe we will. But
5-person fusion, my favorite.
but regardless though, all those other forms failed, right?
Gotenks didn't do much against Super
He
Buu.
he put up he put up a fight, but he kind of he didn't end it.
And Ultimate Gohan also fell to the same fate. Cause I'm pretty sure Gotenks, like again, I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure Gotenks was probably a little too cocky for his own good,
Yes.
like he always is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
And then Ultimate Gohan followed, and you know what happened there.
Yes, ripperoni pepperoni.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, because Gogeta is so far anyway the only character that has successfully, you know, shown their might, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
in terms of their fusion. You know, they're the only character that has successfully defeated their big bad in terms of fusions. I'm talking about
Yeah.
specifically. And
Yeah, theoretically, Vegito didn't actually take out Super Buu. That's a fair point.
right. So, you know, he's the only fusion, and I guess technically the movie isn't canon, right? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he will be made canon in Broly, but
Yeah.
he, you know, he's the only fusion that has successfully, you know, done the deed and, you know, put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Yes, Awadi Da, right? Because in the, you know, we don't see fusion in any other, like, form of Dragon Ball media that's directly related to the anime. Obviously, you know, like, Heroes and other promotional media is an entirely different, you know, ball game.
Like when it comes to fusions in the main series of it, it's pretty much Gotenks or Vegeta or bust.
Exactly.
Like there's no other fusions. Is the thing.
Right.
Well, now we're starting to get. Well, technically we got a bit more, but that's on the opposing side. Technically, with like Masu and Kefla, but
Right.
they're not in the same realm, if that makes sense.
Right,
Like,
exactly. And they ain't Saiyan. Well, I mean, I guess Kefla and Kale are Saiyans, but like they're not, you know, our Saiyans, our boys, our home turf. You know what I'm saying?
Hashtag not my Saiyan.
Hashtag not my Saiyan. Yes.
Yep.
So, you know, that being said, right, you know, that fact that Gogeta is the only one that's successfully taken out anyone also kind of contributes to that, why every new Gogeta card is so busted. And I think all of that just kind of culminated together, just sort of makes sense as to, you know, why he is so busted with every edition, you know, of his card. Because, you know, if we think about this just as a little bit of a retrospective, STR Gogeta, when he came out, was...
Yeah, he was meta defining. He was the meta for a long time.
Meta defining. Like, broke the game, right?
Yeah.
Int Gogeta didn't necessarily break the game, but he was...
Especially on global.
Right, but he was definitely busted. That is undeniable.
Still to this day, he is he is the best Gogeta, probably, and he probably still will be the best Super Saiyan Gogeta until either a new Super Saiyan Gogeta comes out or the STR1 EZAs, which is
not including the LR, because that's different since it...
Yeah, the LR, technically you can run, since you can run on the same team, it doesn't take away from it in Gogeta.
Right, but speaking of the LR, though, when he does transform, he's certainly the best Gogeta, but...
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, technically it's Angel, Goku, and Vegeta before they transform. Yeah. But that Gogeta as well is obviously, like, super powerful, and that LR, you know, we're just going to kind of call the LR Gogeta, was also, you know, I'd say game-breaking, yeah.
At least... Yeah, definitely at the time he was pretty game-breaking.
Right, and if anything, busted. That's undeniable. I can say for certain, right? Both of those LRs that came out were undeniably busted.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and then we have LR Goku and Frieza now with just doing 10 million casually, but anyhow.
Right, exactly. So, you know, and I honestly think too that the biggest part about this, in my opinion, is like the two biggest contributing factors, I'd say, like, at least in my opinion, is the fact that, you know, a busted card sells well, right? You know, people obviously want the strongest card in the game. And the fact that he, my other thing just fell out of my head. I guess, you know, just the fact that he's so popular, because obviously popularity sells well, and the fact that he's busted is so popular. And like, why would you not want him to be busted, right? You know, like, you look at a card and you look at a character and you're like, oh, you know, this new, you know, Bojack Dokkan Fest, you know, just like throwing, you know, a random made up example out there. Like, you know, you don't look at Bojack and you're like, oh yeah, I want this to be busted, right? I want this card right here. This needs to be disgusting, right? But when I think of Gogeta, you know, Gogeta Blue even, I'm like, yes, this card right here, Akatsuki, you see this? This needs to be broken, right? So that's what I'm saying. So
I can agree.
I think that, you know, just all that, and here was the other thing. This is, I don't know, this is just kind of a big thing for me, and maybe it's just because it's me personally. The whole anime representation thing is a really big deal for me, at least, because I definitely think too they've been making more of a point of doing that lately with, you know, some of the more recent cards, as making them kind of relate back to different quirks they have in the anime. And I definitely think, you know, just making Gogeta busted is just a big old reference to his time with our friend Janemba.
Yeah.
So I think that is actually all we have for the topic. This was a little bit of a shorter one, but that is okay. Let us know what you guys thought about this little topic here in the comments section below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely expect lots of fun Gogeta stuff coming up for many years to come.
Yep.
In terms of Dragon Ball shenanigans.
Definitely.
Let us know if you think there was anything that we missed. If you think that there is any other,
and let us know just in the comments for fun. Who do you like better, Gogeta or Vegeta? And let us know why.
Definitely slap a comment on that boy.
Yeah.
Heck, while you're down there, I'll shell out. Why not? Slap a like on the boy. Smash the subscribe button. I never say it, so I'm gonna take the opportunity to do so. But definitely let us know.
Hit that like button with your own Soul Punisher.
There you go. And that's another fun debate we could ask in the comments too. What do you call it? Soul Punisher. What's the other name?
Stardust Breaker, I think.
Yeah, whatever. It's Soul Punisher.
Stardust Shooters.
Yeah, Stardust Shooters. Yes, it's JoJo. But regardless, though, let us know if there's anything that you think we missed in terms of why every new Gogeta card is so busted. You know, is there something related to the anime or something in the games that you think that we missed in that regard? And I think that is going to do it from us. Obviously, at the time of this recording, the Broly movie has not been released to the public yet, so we don't know the deal with the new Gogeta blue card that we're all assuming is coming, and possibly maybe there'll be a Super Gogeta in there, who knows. But I'm assuming that just like our friends that we talked about today, they will be busted as well.
Yep, definitely.
But anyhow, though, that is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. Yes, hope you enjoyed indeed. Thank you for listening as always, and from all of us here at the Extreme Z Podcast crew, see you in the next one.
Later.